What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market had another great day today, guys. It's been on a roll lately. S&P 500 up 30 points, up 0.9%. The Dow Jones up 160 points, up 0.6%. And the NASDAQ 100 crushed it, up 1.5%, up about 175 points on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over the top stocks that I'm actually looking to buy right now in October of 2020. And I also want to go over what I'm doing. What stocks am I involved with? What moves did I make today? And where's my head at right now as an investor, as a trader in this current stock market? So if you guys find value, hit that like button for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and also check out all the free links down below, the Discord chat, the Facebook group. And if you guys want 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,600, pick those up. Also linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it, guys. Very strong day in the markets today. And the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, all of the indexes, they ended up breaking out of major resistances today. And for the S&P, it actually did yesterday, but for the NASDAQ and the Dow, we'll go over those in a second, they broke resistances today. So overall, the bulls are getting back in charge. It's looking very strong here for the bulls. S&P 500 yesterday ended up breaking out of 3430, which we've been talking about here on the channel. That is a very big level of resistance. Today, we ended up gapping up all the way to almost $3,500, and now we're about 100 points short from that all-time high, putting us about 3% short from that all-time high here on the S&P 500. And what do you know, guys? It seems like that reverse head and shoulder ended up panning out. We called this out a couple days ago, and you guys can see it now. It's coming into fruition, right? We have the left shoulder here. The head is when we ended up double bottoming, or actually that's a triple bottom here at about 3210. That formed the head, and now you guys can see over the past couple of days, we formed the right shoulder, and I said if we break 3430, that's going to be where we see a big pop in the S&P and the completion of that right shoulder. And what do you know? We got exactly that, right? So at this point, S&P had about, I think this is 3 straight green days. 3 straight green days in a row. Now the RSI is getting a bit overextended here on the 30-day chart, probably on the hourly chart as well, pretty much on all of these small time frames here. So one could argue next week, yeah, the bulls are in charge at this point, no doubt about it, but one could argue that, hey, we might see some sort of pull down next week, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nobody knows, but if we do see a pull down, one level that is imperative for the S&P to hold as a support, you guys guessed it, it's 3430. So if we pull down, we need to hold 3430, bounce off of this level, and then go for all-time highs. If that happens, guys, if we hold 3430 and we bounce off of it aggressively to the upside, hey, we might see all-time highs, maybe even next week. It is very, very possible, especially with the Apple event coming up. And you guys know that Apple event is on Tuesday, and if Apple does well and it drags up all of the other tech stocks along with it, and you guys know those tech stocks are a big weighting in the market, this is going to shift up the entire market, and we might be getting to those all-time highs. And we'll get into Apple here in a little bit. But overall, S&P is looking extremely bullish. 3430 broke. We're closing above it, maintaining above it. These are very good signs from a bullish perspective, right? Dow Jones today, let's take a look at it. Like I said earlier, it broke a resistance today, and that resistance is right around 25,000, I believe, 4,500, right around there. Actually, no, not 25,000, 28,400, right around there. You guys can see we struggled there yesterday, and we also struggled there back in the 15th of September. So that's a very good sign. We broke out of 28,400, and at this point, we're looking to fill the entire gap up to about 28,700. 2,800 is the next big level of resistance here on the Dow Jones. And if that level breaks, I know there's a lot of trend lines here, a lot of analysis here, so try and sift through this with me. But if that breaks, take a look. We might be going straight up to 29,200. That's the next big gap here that needs to fill on the Dow Jones. And that could give it, if we break 28,700, that could give it about 2% upside from 28,700 up to about 29,200. So watch out for that move next week. And let's say we have a pull down on the Dow Jones. A level that I'd love to see it hold is right around 28,400. So it's pretty imperative for the Dow to hold 28,400 as a support. That's if we pull down. But if we don't pull down, guys, and we go straight above 28,700, then that shifts 28,700 as the big level of support for it to hold. So we'll see what happens. It all depends on what happens next week. And of course, over the weekend with all the stimulus talks, if anything comes out positive or negative, that could end up shifting the markets up or down, and we have to see what happens. And of course, every Sunday, I go over the game plan, what the futures are looking like for the upcoming week. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys do want to catch that Sunday video, which is 2 days away from now, obviously, if you are watching it on this video on Friday. So we'll see what the futures are looking like. But overall, again, the bulls are in charge right now. NASDAQ 100, finally, guys, it ended up breaking 11,500. That's a big level of resistance I've been talking about here for the past couple of weeks as the market has been selling off. You guys can see very clearly the NASDAQ 100 has been struggling at 11,500. We got rejected once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I mean, almost 10 times we got rejected there. And now with this breakout, it's looking like a reverse head and shoulder is being completed. And like the S&P, the Dow Jones, we called this out on the NASDAQ, and I said the second 11,500 breaks on the NASDAQ 100 here, we're going to be rallying up aggressively, and that happened here to the T pretty much. So where could we be going? I mean, I said yesterday NASDAQ 100 has a higher end price target, in my opinion, at about 12,000, and I think we could hit 12,000 before seeing a pull down. I mean, I think it's very possible, but again, a lot is riding on what happens with the stimulus talks over the next couple of days and what's the sentiment heading into Monday, and of course, we'll see what happens on Sunday night with the futures market. So again, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys do want to see that video. So overall, I've said it enough in this video so far. The bulls are gaining charge again. They're gaining a full head of steam, and if they couple this rally with a stimulus package, I don't know, guys, we might explode even higher. So we'll see what happens. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts? And speaking of stimulus, I forgot to mention this. I should have mentioned it a couple minutes ago. Congress is likely, and this is from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, he said Congress likely will not pass another CV stimulus package before the November 3rd election. That's what he said, Mitch McConnell, today on Friday. And the White House and Democrats have restarted last-ditch efforts towards an elusive relief deal. Speaking in his home state of Kentucky, the Republican told reporters, quote, "The situation's kind of murky," end quote, while negotiators try to, quote unquote, elbow for political advantage as Americans cast their ballots. And like I've been saying, guys, this is all politics, right? Who's able to give the most stimulus, the fastest. This is all for a vote. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're trying to buy your votes. That's at the end of the day what's going on here. And he also said, I'd like to see us rise above that, and like we did back in March and April. And And he thinks that is unlikely in the next 3 weeks. And by rise above it, he means they want to come to some sort of equal agreement, put differences aside, and so forth for the better of for the American people, right? And again, he doesn't think that's going to happen within the next 3 weeks. And quite honestly, guys, I wish I knew what was going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen with the stimulus, but you guys have to be ready for everything, for the bearish case, and for the bullish case, and you just have to be prepared, right? Because anything, especially leading up to the election here and after the election, anything could happen in this market. So let me know your thoughts down below on the markets, stimulus, everything going on here. I would love to know. Now let's talk about what I personally did. And the truth is, guys, I'm in some positions. I'm up a good amount on a lot of these positions, but I didn't lock in profits today, and we'll see on Monday if I regret that or not. But I didn't lock in profits, and I'm riding a bunch of swing trades still. I'm in INTC, Intel. I'm in this one at about $52.25. Intel actually saw a bit of a hit today, down about 1%, down 55 cents. A lot of the chip stocks did bad today. AMD got hit about 4%. Thank God I ended up locking in profits on that one when I did. It's selling off here after their event yesterday, and Nvidia is also down from last time I checked. Yeah, it's down about 0.5% here. So a lot of the chip stocks got hit, but I'm still green on Intel, so I'm not sweating it. I'm up about 50, 60 cents there on my position, and I'm still in Virgin Galactic, guys, which is it's down. It's down about 3% today, down 70 cents. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of called this in my head earlier. I was thinking to myself, I see a bit of a divergence here on the Virgin Galactic, right? The RSI is downtrending, and we're seeing an uptrending in the candlesticks here. So the moves are getting weaker as we're uptrending. That's kind of what the divergence here is telling me. And I was thinking that earlier in the day, and I was saying to myself, yeah, I mean, it's likely that Virgin Galactic, with this divergence, it's not going to do well today. Obviously, I didn't know for sure, but I was reading the charts, and I said that to myself as a possibility. And what do you know? Exactly that happened, right? The divergence there ended up playing out. You guys can see it here again. The strength is going down of the moves as the candlesticks are pushing up. That's a bit worrisome here, but I'm still holding on to my position. I'm in at about $21.30, and we're still holding the uptrend. I mean, despite the divergence we're seeing, we're still holding the uptrend here on the 4-hour. We closed above $21. We closed above the 50 SMA, so that is a good sign in my opinion, and it's not going to scare me out quite yet of my position. I kind of just want to see what happens next week with this particular stock. We'll see. Again, like I said earlier, I didn't lock in profits, and I might regret that on Monday. We'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. But overall, I'm in Intel, I'm in Virgin Galactic, and let's talk about Workhorse, man. Workhorse, let's go. Workhorse was up 12% today. Take that, Fuzzy Panda. Take that, Fuzzy Panda. If you guys were watching yesterday's video, Fuzzy Panda came out with a ridiculous bearish case on Workhorse, saying that their USPS truck prototype accidentally went down a hill after a parking brake failed. A union driver ended up getting hospitalized. They're saying that they can't handle the potential workload of a USPS contract. They're comparing Steve Burns, the CEO of Lordstown, and the CEO of Workhorse as frauds. They're saying that they're comparable to Trevor Milton, who's the ex-CEO of Nikola. And by the way, guys, they're a short seller of the stock. So how convenient, right? How convenient of them to say all of these negative things while short selling the stock. If anything, that's a bearish or a bullish sign right there if you're looking at this from a contrarian standpoint. So what do you know? That came out yesterday. The stock went down to $22. It rallied up yesterday to about $25, sold back off to $23.60. But like I said, it held $23.60, big support from the past couple of days. That was very good. And what do you know today? We held $23.60 and we rallied all the way to $27. Take that, Fuzzy Panda. We're heading higher here on Workhorse, and a lot of this could be due to the stimulus package. It probably does help the case here for Workhorse, but either way, we're running up. This is looking very bullish, and I'm holding on. I'm in at about $24 per share. Very happy with this one. And again, take that, Fuzzy Panda. And by the way, guys, what the heck kind of a name is Fuzzy Panda Research? Like what? What is that? And I'm also in Electronic Arts still, EA. EA did well today, up 1%. I'm down still a little bit on this. I'm in at about 131, but I'm not sweating it. This is a longer-term swing for me. And I'm also still in Apple, and this is by far my biggest swing position right now, no doubt about it. I'm in at about $115. Today it was up about 2% in anticipation of next week's event. And let me take a look. Is it up after hours here? It looks like it is. Let's go, guys. It's up after hours as well, almost up to $118. So watch out. Next week, I think Apple is bound to explode. Don't just buy in because I'm buying in, but in my opinion, it's bound to do well. It's been held down, range bound for the past couple of weeks between 118 and obviously it hit lows of 103, but it's been right around 118, 115, 112, 116. It's been right around this range for a couple weeks, and the fact that we broke 116.50 today, that is a big resistance break. Now the next one coming up, you guessed it, is right around 118, and I think 118 is going to break next week, and heck, it's almost about to break here after hours with Apple. So we'll see what happens. I'm bullish Apple, and quite honestly, my price target on this stock is anywhere from 125 to 130, and I think eventually it's going to get back up to the high 130s. So Apple, I'm loving it. And overall, guys, that is it. That's in terms of my positions. I'm holding all of those stocks: Intel, Virgin Galactic, Workhorse, Electronic Arts, and Apple. So let me know in the comments, what are you guys doing? What are your thoughts on those stocks? What are your thoughts on Workhorse and Apple in particular? I'd love to know your guys' opinion. Now let's talk about some underrated stocks here that not many people, I mean, yeah, people cover them, but not many people talk about these too often, right? The first one is GameStop. And speaking of GameStop, guys, I ended up making a video earlier today on GameStop. So go check that down below in the description box. Go check it out. It's about a 13-minute video on the recent partnership with Microsoft and how the stock went up 40% in a day. I kind of outlined my game plan with GameStop in that video. And if you guys watched it, it's crazy. What I said in that video is literally panning out right now. I said I'm not too interested in buying a long-term position in GameStop with this partnership in Microsoft, but I am interested in a potential short-term move. And I said in that video, and you guys can vouch for me if you watched it, and if you didn't, again, go watch it after this, link down below in the description. I said, watch out for a cool-off, right? $15 was overheated. Even $13 was overheated. And I said, watch out for the cool down. If it gets anywhere at close to $11, $10 per share, if it gets anywhere close to that old resistance, this could be an entry point. And at this point, guys, ever since I filmed that video, the stock went up during my filming of the video to about $14.50, and then it crashed. And it's getting very close to my target at about $10, $11. So, hey, next week this might come true. We might get that low $11 price point, and if we consolidate there for a little bit and start to curl back up, that's going to give me confidence to get into GameStop again as a short-term trade, not a long-term investment. I'm not interested in holding GameStop for a couple of years, but if you told me, hey, if you want to hold this for a couple of weeks/months heading into the new releases of the Xbox, PS5, all the games, that I would consider. And it's looking like we're getting to that price point. So watch out for GameStop here, $10-11. And again, go check out the more in-depth video on GameStop if you guys want to know what's going on with Microsoft and a more detailed opinion, my opinion, of the stock. So go check that out. And the next one here is JD.com. JD.com. And yeah, this is not necessarily underrated, but I don't really talk about it much, and I don't see a lot of other YouTubers talking much about JD. And quite honestly, as a long-term investment, you can make the case that JD is strong. It's a Chinese company. You guys have to understand that when you're investing in Chinese companies here from the U.S., it's a bit different. You're buying into a shell company, so go look deeper into that for yourselves. That's a risk, right? Same thing with NIO. I own a bit of NIO stock, which is also a Chinese company, and you guys have to realize it is a little bit risky. It's a little bit risky, but looking at it from a trading perspective, I'm liking the pattern here. We're breaking out of this wedge the past couple of days we have been. We're holding the uptrend, no doubt about it, here on the 4-hour. And it seems like this upcoming week, we're about to test $80, $81, which is a big resistance where I think if we break that, there's a shot for JD to get back up to the mid-80s. And that's kind of my price target here. So I'm going to actually set an alert on JD.com. If it breaks $80, I'm very interested in getting into this stock. So Mark is at or above $80, and the last time they reported earnings was back in the middle of October. Not October, guys. We're in October now. In the middle of August. So they might be coming up on earnings here in a little bit, and we'll see when they actually officially announce the date of earnings. So we'll see what ends up happening around there. So JD.com, definitely watch out for it. I think there's a lot of upside momentum here. And IBM, would you take a look at what happened to IBM, guys? It ended up shooting up ridiculously from $125 to about $140. We ended up, if I extend this to the right, you guys can see we ended up breaking $125, $130, which was a big level of resistance stemming back from the end of April. That's a very good sign. Well, now we're trading under it, which is a bit worrisome, but we'll get into that in a second. But we broke 129. We filled the gap up to about $140 here, which is also strong, but we got rejected at 140, which makes sense because it got a bit overextended. But now the question is, where is IBM going to cool off at? Where is it going to find support for us potentially as traders to get in as an entry point? I'm thinking, and quite honestly, guys, I'm going to set an alert, but I'm thinking if 130 is able to break, that is where the entry point is going to be. So at this point, again, we're trading under 130. We failed to hold it, which is a bit worrisome, as again, that is an old resistance and we should hold it as a support. But I'm not losing complete hope quite yet because we always have next week. And if we see any sort of upwards momentum above 130, that's going to be a big potential move. Potentially, keyword potentially here, guys, from 130 to about 136, 137. So watch out there with IBM. And taking a look here, they actually, IBM makes esports debut with multi-year Overwatch deal. That's what ended up shooting up the stock. And they're looking to make strides here into the future, which I like. Many people view IBM as kind of a dying business, which it's arguable, right? It was a big business decades ago. It's kind of lost its mojo, but now they're looking back into, or not back, actually forward into the future, and I'm liking it. 130 to 135, that's the potential move there. So the next one here is eBay. eBay ended up crushing it, guys. Up 7% almost today. We ended up breaking out of this wedge that I drew about a couple of videos ago, and we were talking about it a couple of videos ago, and I mentioned, guys, exactly this. If we end up breaking the wedge here on the 4-hour, we break out of the 180 SMA on the 4-hour as well, that's going to be a bullish buy signal for eBay. Did I buy yet? No, because I want to see if it cools off a bit. we see some sort of support at about, let's say, 53, 54 bucks. If we do, if that RSI comes down a bit, we find support here, then we start to climb back up. That is where I'd like to enter eBay. So where could eBay go? Some price targets here I have about $58, $61 on the high end. So anywhere from $58 to $61 I think eBay could get to. And if we can pick up shares at 54 bucks, 54 up to 58, that's about a 7% move, and up to about $61, that's over 10%. So I think there is potential here with eBay, and they are reporting earnings here coming up on the 28th. So in about 2-3 weeks, they're reporting earnings. So I'm liking eBay here, guys. Very bullish here. Momentum is on its side, on the bull side. So let's see if that continues. And another one is going to be Johnson & Johnson, which I've been liking ever since it broke 148. And today's price action up $2, up 1.4%. Also breaking the earlier resistance from a couple days ago at about 150. We closed above it as well. These are very good signs, strong bullish signs that Johnson & Johnson wants to make its way back up to, I believe, 155, 157, right? 155 to 157. This is the next gap to fill, and I think J&J's on its way. And again, it's not the most glorious stock. It's a great stock to own. I own it in my long-term accounts. Dividends are great, but let's be honest. It's not the flashiest stock, like the Apples of the world, Microsofts that fly up 20% in a week span. Some of these SPACs do that. It's not like that. But if you're a bit more conservative, you like the dividend long-term, it's great. And even if you like some short-term fluctuations, little moves here, like 5%, range moves, hey, J&J could be for you. From 150 up to 157. It's not a crazy amount, but you can make about 3% to 5% on this particular stock. So, hey, I think it's worth watching, especially if you're a bit more of a safe, quote-unquote, safe trader, more conservative. This could be for you. So those are the 5, quote-unquote, underrated stocks here that I'm looking to buy heading into this upcoming week. Now, 2 bonus ones I'm watching are Tesla, number 1, which is not underrated. That's why I had to put it here in the bonus section. But Tesla is looking pretty bullish, up 2%, up about $8 today. But we're now trading in this wedge where I think if we're able to gap out, we might see a massive move in Tesla. And mind you, guys, they had great delivery numbers last Friday, and they're reporting earnings here in the next 12 days, so on the 21st of this month. So we might see a very high price in Tesla. Tesla's like a cult stock, so if they do well in earnings, we might see a high $400 stock price, heck, maybe even $500. But for me, like you guys know, I don't like holding through earnings. But one thing with Tesla here is usually there's a lot of hype before earnings. So we might see a rally into earnings where I can come in and other traders can come in and take advantage and make profits. So I'm thinking if 435, 440 breaks, we could see a very strong short-term move heading into earnings that we can take advantage of. And another one here that is not really underrated, a lot of people know about it, is DPHC, Diamond Peak Holdings, which is looking to take Lordstown Motors public. And remember, Workhorse Group has a 10% stake in Lordstown Motors. So both of these did well today. Workhorse up about 12%, DPHC also up close to 13% today. So this one has a lot more to run. I think in the short term here, a price target for me is around $30. So I'd like to maybe enter this one next week. If we're able to break, let me show you guys here this downtrend. If we're able to break this downtrend that I'm about to draw, if ThinkOrSwim will let me, guys, if we break this, watch for the fill up to about $28 to $30. I think that is very possible here with DPHC, and the momentum is definitely switching from being bearish the past couple of trading days. We found a nice base at $20. Now we're shifting to bullish. So yeah, that's it, guys. We talked about JD.com, GameStop, IBM, eBay, J&J, DPHC, Tesla. We talked about Virgin Galactic, Workhorse, Intel, EA, and Apple in this video. So if you guys enjoyed it, like always, smash that like button for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss this awesome content that I'm producing every single day. And make sure to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull, valued up to $1,600. Those are linked right down below in the description box for you guys. All you have to do is deposit $100 and you get 2 free stocks, and I also get 2 free stocks since it is an affiliate link. And oh, by the way, don't forget to watch that GameStop video. It's somewhere here, so click that video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, or actually the start of your weekend. Make sure to stay safe out there too, guys. That's very important in these crazy times we're living in. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video, the GameStop video. Click that, and yeah, peace out, guys.